Welcome to Concord, North Carolina, on a 35-degree clear night outside. We're inside. It's Al Coalfield Court on the campus of Barber-Scotia College. It's basketball time today on the Owl Sports Network. Today, it's the Barber-Scotia Sabres hosting your Warren Wilson Owls. Hi, everybody. Chris Sheeman, glad to be with you here tonight from Concord. Let's get to the starting lineups. We'll start with the road team, the Warren Wilson Owls. Owls come in 7th ranked in the USCAA, 14-10 on the season. Head coach William Montz, 30-23 in his second season, and he starts this way. At one guard, it's number 2, Stephen Horton Jr., a sophomore, 6'1", 185 pounds from Yokohama, Japan. At another guard, it's number 3, Ty Johnson, a senior, 6'2", 180 from Wilkesboro, North Carolina. And the third guard is number 4, Justin Gagne, a junior, 6'2", 180 from Warner, North Carolina. Up front for the Owls tonight, it's number 11, E.J. Patterson, a freshman, 6'3", 170 from Lancaster, South Carolina. And number 32, Thomas Hay, a sophomore, 6'3", 185 pounds from Waynesville, North Carolina. Now the starters for Barber-Scotia, the Sabres come in at 4-18. Head coach Lavelle Gerald will start this way. At one guard, it's number 0, Shaquille Wilson, a junior, 6'1", 175 pounds. At the other guard, it's number 11, Rashad Green, a freshman, 6'1", 162 pounds. And up front today for the Sabres, number 3, Chris Calvin, a senior, 6'5", 200 pounds. Number 5, Walter Jackson, a freshman, 6'2", 195 pounds. And number 21, Ryan Atkins, a freshman, 6'2", 180 pounds. So that's the starters for the Sabres and the Owls. Warren Wilson coming in 14-10, Barber-Scotia at 4-18. The Sabres, since defeating Warren Wilson 89-80 at Warren Wilson back in December, have gone 1-8 in their last 9 games. Meanwhile, Warren Wilson, they've won 6 out of their last 7 games. Come in looking to avenge that 89-80 defeat to Barber-Scotia at home. Barber-Scotia has added some players, though. Atkins is new. We'll see Quasim Scott and James Williams off the bench as well. So a couple of second semester additions for the Sabres, and Ryan Atkins averaging 22.8 points per ball game, getting the start here against the Owls. The Owls in their road dark blue. Barber-Scotia is in the white. Thomas Hay is back after that 2-game sit-out because of the concussion, so he will tip it up with Calvin at center court. The Owls' second-to-last road game is underway, with the tip being controlled by Warren Wilson, who moved left to right on your screens and tablets to start things off here in this first half. Patterson, top of the key from Ty Johnson. Bounce pass to Gagne. Gagne's got a little bit of back trouble, folks, so we'll see how he plays. Dribbles to the right. Defender falls down. It's swung over now. Horton Jr. on the left. Still 14 to shoot. Time to work with for the Owls. Horton Jr. makes his move. Dribbles in, dishes it out. Hay quickly to Gagne up top. Gagne dribbles in. Now Patterson. Bounce pass. Horton Jr. with 3. Out to Patterson for 3. No good. Tip for the rebound. Ty Johnson comes up with it. Horton Jr. had trouble with the pass, but Patterson is able to get there. So second possession for Warren Wilson here, just underway. Horton Jr. to the elbow. Thomas Hay dribbles to the right and double dribbled with the basketball. So a sloppy possession that time for the Owls, as Barber-Scotia will get the basketball back. Checking a spot on the court just to make sure it's all good to go before the Sabres inbound it. Sabres defense has been the problem this year for Barber-Scotia. They've given up over 100 points in half of the games that they've played. Some of that has to do, we talked about it in the last meeting, with the schedule. They play a ton of D2 programs, mostly CIAA programs from here in North Carolina. So a couple of D1s on this schedule for the Sabres as well. Boy, they are giving extra attention to the court here, making sure everything's okay. And looks like they're going to get together and talk about it now. So while we have a timeout, this game just getting underway, but we can tell you about what's coming up for the Owls. On Saturday, we're going to be with the ladies in Music City in Nashville for a 2 p.m. Eastern Time game. Ladies taking on Welsh. Then we're back with the men on Monday. Owls' next game back home against Piedmont International at 7 p.m. And then on Wednesday, it's a big doubleheader at 5:30 and 7:30 against Johnson and Wales. That's a big game for the men, and it's also Pink Out DeVries. So if you're thinking about coming to that game on the second, there you can see the Owls doing their part to raise awareness for breast cancer awareness. And there'll be special halftime events as well during both the women's and men's games. So at the halftime of the ladies' games, Fairview Flyers will perform. And then the pep band for the Owls. I didn't realize we had a pep band, but evidently we do, and they'll be playing on next Wednesday. All right, let's see if we can't get this thing restarted. And it'll be Barber-Scotia with the basketball. Oh, hang on now. The Owls are going to inbound it. Why are the Owls inbounding? Thomas A. double dribbled, but I think they're saying it's because of the court, so they're giving him a possession. Folks, it's like we've drifted into a vortex of something. I feel like I'm in a different universe right now. So they're getting ready. Now they're going to talk about it. Look at Atkins. Atkins is having himself a seat out on the court. My God, folks, settle in. This could be an interesting night. All right, it's Owls basketball somehow. Horton Jr. out here mid-court. Dribbling on Wilson in the man-to-man. Over to Hay on the wing. Gagne, same spot. Gagne dribbles in, out to Horton Jr. Back out to Gagne. Shot clock at 1. Hay beats it and gets the roll. So the Owls, technically that was their second possession. Get on the board here. 90 seconds in. Quickly Jackson, right of the lane. Count it, and the foul. Big answer by Jackson. Walter Jackson had 14 against Warren Wilson on 7 of 8 shooting in December. He's got his first 2 here. 59% free throw shooter. Will try to complete the old school 3-point play. So Barber-Scotia on its first possession on the offensive end, looking for its first lead, and they don't get it as the free throws miss. Gagne gets it, rebound in the corner. Horton Jr. walks it across the timeline into the forecourt now for the Owls. Horton Jr., a couple of moves, spinning in. Patterson out to Hay. Hay drives to the baseline. Pass deflected, and we have an offensive foul on Thomas Hay. So turnover gives the ball back to Barber-Scotia. We're all tied at 2 apiece here. Jackson with the inbound to Wilson. Shaquille Wilson had 28 to lead all scorers against Warren Wilson back in December. Over to Green, cross court, open Atkins, corner 3, off the back of the rim. No, Patterson collects the rebound. Horton Jr. into the forecourt. And Coach Montz will call out a play for the Owls here. Gagne on the left wing. Gagne surveys, gets it to Ty Johnson up top, into the lane, puts it up, no good. Rebound controlled by Calvin. Here's Wilson into the front court now for the Sabres. Wilson dribbling between the circles, tosses right wing to Atkins. Atkins cross court. Over in the corner, it's Green. Wilson, now Atkins. Fakes the 3, dribbles in, couple of steps. Short on the shot, Thomas Hay collects the rebound. Gagne into the front court now for Warren Wilson. Gagne left of the lane, puts it up, yes, and the foul. Justin Gagne hitting the floor hard. Good to see him get back up quickly. As I mentioned, right before we started, Gagne a little bit of back trouble. Gagne hit 24 against Barber-Scotia in the 89-80 defeat in December. 76% free throw shooter, trying to complete the old school 3-point play. And he does. Owls leading at 5-2 now. Sabres Just their 4th home game of the season. But it's the start of a long homestand. Wilson, nice bounce pass underneath, and the reverse by Jackson, who makes it 5-4. Good move by Jackson. Here's Gagne again, left of the lane. Spin, shoots around the rim. No, tip for the rebound. It's controlled by Calvin. Wilson looking to push into the forecourt. Right side, Green from way downtown. Missed it short. Tip for the rebound. It comes to Horton Jr. Horton Jr. in the front court now. Thomas Hay up top. Hay had it poked, able to get it though left wing. Gagne. Horton Jr. up top. Horton Jr. dribbles left, bounce past to Ty Johnson. Got stripped. Hay tried to throw it down. No, Ty Johnson comes up with it up top. Gagne from way outside. Yes! Gagne has 6 of the Owls' 8 points, and Warren Wilson leads at 8-4. Wilson, Atkins on the right. Wilson, Owls in a 2-3 zone. Bounce pass to Atkins. Floater, no good, and Hay gets the rebound. Horton Jr. into the forecourt. Out to Gagne, tries it again. Yes, again. Gagne with 9. And a timeout by Barber-Scotia. Timeout on the court. We'll take it with them. 15:44 left to go. 7-point lead for the Owls. We'll be back. Welcome back, everybody. Folks, we'd love to hear from you on Twitter during today's game and all season long. Use the Twitter handle there to come and chat with us during the broadcast at WWC Athletics. So, Chris Shima, glad to be back with you here at Barber-Scotia. Owls out to a 7-point lead. Barber-Scotia head coach Lavelle Gerald not happy with the defense, calling a timeout to straighten his team out. Also made a sub as Javante Livingston has come on. There's Wilson up top, rises for 3 with the hand in his face and buries it. So Wilson, who had 28 in the last meeting, is on the board here tonight. Horton Jr. bounce pass to Cates, who's come on. Deflected out of bounds by Green. So Stephon Cates on, the freshman from Oxford. And Ty Johnson will inbound it right of the basket. Over to Gagne, quickly to Ty. Gets it back out to Cates. Horton Jr. goes unimpeded. Can't get the roll, though. And the rebound controlled by Calvin. Wilson now into the forecourt. Wilson right of the lane, at it stripped by Horton Jr. Horton Jr. pushes it into the forecourt. Gagne spins in, gets it out to Cates. Open corner 3, in and out. Fight for the rebound underneath. Coming away with it is Jackson. Jackson turns on the Jets. Swings it over to Green. Left baseline 3 is good. So a 6-0 run out of the timeout for Barber-Scotia. Cuts it to a 1-point lead. Ty Johnson on the near side of your screen. Johnson drives in. Yes, and the foul. So Johnson ends the 6-0 run, and Ty will go to the line to try to complete the old school 3-point play. Ty Johnson, 75% free throw shooter. Couple of subs for Warren Wilson as Timmy Johnson and Garth Bailey check in. They join Thomas Hay, Stephon Cates, and Ty Johnson, so that's the 5 for the Owls. Johnson gets the 3-point play, lead back to 4 for the Owls here, about 5.5 minutes into the ball game. Wilson into the forecourt, Swings left wing to Green. Wilson over to Jackson on the right. Dribbles in, gets it out in the corner. Now Wilson had it poked away, able to save it though. Still plenty of time for Barber-Scotia. Wilson tried the behind the back, tipped it instead to Green on the baseline. Back out Wilson, doubled up in the corner, throws cross court. Here is Green, steps inside the arc and buries the jumper. So the lead is 2, 14-12. Cates top of the key. Cates had 20 points in the victory against Welsh earlier this week on Monday. Ty Johnson between the circles. Johnson spins left of the lane. Defense able to stay with him though. Cates bounce pass to Hay. Hay, offensive foul again, the second on Thomas Hay, so he's going to have to sit down as E.J. Patterson will come in. So Barber-Scotia with the basketball, a chance to tie or take the lead with a 3 as Patterson returns. Into the forecourt, it's Wilson. Wilson bounce pass to the right for Jackson. Wilson now back to Jackson. Pass around the perimeter are the Sabres. Wilson dribbles to the right, shoots it off the front of the rim. Patterson with the rebound. Cates brings it into the forecourt now. Cates to the elbow. Cates on 2 defenders, and traveling is the call. Atkins coming back in for Jackson for Barber-Scotia. And Horton Jr. returns for Cates. Barber-Scotia, as I mentioned, this is just their 4th home game of the season. They played 16 on the road and 2 at neutral locations. So they're happy to play in front of their home fans for a change. Strong move to the bucket by Wilson as he gets it to go. The defense asleep for the Owls, and we are tied. Timmy Johnson is stripped. Coming up with it is Green. Green into the forecourt. 3-on-3, and Green had it deflected out of bounds. So Wilson will inbound it left of the basket with still 30 to shoot for the Sabres. Wilson bounce passes it to Green. Corner 3, yes. Green giving Barber-Scotia the 3-point lead. Green came in 36% from behind the arc. As it's 17-14 now, 12:07 to go. Horton Jr. on the right wing. He'll back it out. Horton Jr. throws it to Timmy Johnson on the left. Johnson to the baseline, and Patterson couldn't come up with the pass. Justin Gagne is going to check back into the ball game for the Owls. Gagne with 9 of Warren Wilson's 14 points, as Ty Johnson will sit down. Coming back in is Jackson for Barber-Scotia. Inbound to Wilson. Wilson almost wasn't ready for it, but able to gather himself and bring it up. Owls again in that zone. They've been in a 2-3 zone for most of the game. Green inside the arc, dishes it out. Jackson on the baseline, dumps it underneath. Atkins had it poked away. It's a steal for Timmy Johnson. Johnson into the forecourt. Johnson, here is Horton Jr. for 3 off the back of the rim. No, Calvin with another rebound. Calvin averaging 7 a game. Had 11 against the Owls in the first meeting this season. On the near side, it's Green, throwing cross court to Atkins. Atkins drives in, back out to Green on the left. Here's a corner 3 by Jackson, who gets it to go. So the Owls led it 11-4 at one point. Since then, a 16-3 run for Barber-Scotia. Timmy Johnson on the left wing. Horton Jr. Owls have to find some offense here. Timmy Johnson, corner three, no good. And another one and done as Atkins comes up with the rebound. Atkins into the forecourt, swings it right wing to Green from downtown again. Off the back of the rim, Timmy Johnson with the rebound. Johnson into the forecourt. Bailey on the right wing. EJ for three, yes. So Patterson cuts the deficit to three with just his second three-point field goal. He's now 2 for 7 on the season, 1 for 2 here tonight. He hit one against Welsh as well on Monday. Green, Wilson, now Atkins. Atkins to the baseline, had it poked away, able to recover, poked away again, and Bailey comes up with it. Bailey, Patterson, tips it out. Timmy Johnson, Bailey up top. Bailey spins in, can't get it, but he's fouled, and will go to the line. That is team foul number 3, I believe, on Barber-Scotia. The Owls with 3 as well, with 9:48 to go. Coming up at halftime, we'll take a break, so you folks can do the same. Bailey, 61% free throw shooter on the season. It's the first one to go. Stephon Cates in for Timmy Johnson. So it's Gagne, Patterson, Bailey, Cates, and Horton Jr. Coming on for the first time for Barber-Scotia, it's James Williams. He's out there with Scott, Atkins, Jackson, and Wilson. So that's the 5 for both teams as Bailey misses the second one off the second hop. Atkins collects the rebound for the Sabres. Sabres walking it into the forecourt. Methodical offense, but good ball movement here in this first half for Barber-Scotia. Williams on the right wing. Williams, one of those late additions with Atkins and Scott. Here's Wilson driving in. Had the ball deflected, got it back, put it up, and scored. Lead back to 4 for the Sabres, 22-18. Horton Jr. now to Gagne up top. Gagne to the elbow, rises up, grazes the rim, that's all. Williams with the rebound. Here come the Sabres now. Wilson into the forecourt, swings it to Atkins on the right side with Cates on him. Jackson in the corner, skies it for Wilson up top, rises up for 3, no good. Horton Jr. with the rebound, and he will bring it up. Horton Jr. at the half circle. Short on the shot. The rebound tipped. Scott comes up with it for the Sabres. Atkins throws to Wilson in the forecourt. Atkins, top of the key. Wilson on the right. And he traveled with the basketball. So turnover gives the ball back to Warren Wilson. Timmy and Ty Johnson will come into the game as Bailey and Horton Jr. sit down. Coming back in for the Sabres is Green for Scott. Timmy Johnson into the forecourt. Timmy Johnson to the elbow. Here's Gagne. Gagne guarded by Jackson and floats it up. No, Patterson gets the rebound. Gagne is hurt, and we're going to stop play for a minute. We mentioned Gagne had a bad back to begin with and got up quickly, so hopefully he'll be able to stay out there. They're going to bring Horton Jr. in just in case and give Gagne some time on the bench as the Barber-Scotia trainer will see if he's needed. So hopefully Gagne will be able to get back out there. He's been the main source of offense as Patterson airballs the hook shot. Ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Barber-Scotia. Gagne has 9 of the Owls' 18. Ty Johnson. That inbound poked away by Atkins. So the Owls will do it again. 8:11 left to go here in this first half. Kind of an awkward feel to this game. Owls trailing by 4. That pass. Williams went for the steal. Horton Jr. able to get it. Now Cates poked from behind by Atkins. So it'll be Owls basketball again, 7 to shoot. And we're going to trade sides. Give me one adjective for this game. I'm going with awkward. Horton Jr. on the left, 5 to shoot. Horton Jr. to the bucket, behind the back. It comes back to him and cannot beat the buzzer. Boy, Wilson came down with it. He should have been allowed to go, but they stopped it as a shot clock violation. And Wilson, you could see, was upset. Garth Bailey comes in. Horton Jr. comes out. A lot of shuffling in and out of players for both teams. Under 8 to go here in this first half, as Wilson will bring it up. Barber-Scotia defense is second last in the USCAA, allowing 96.8 points per night, but they've done a pretty good job on the Owls here today as William misses it short. Ty Johnson, he's been, I believe, scoreless so far tonight. Cates, top of the key. Cates into the lane, double pump, can't get the shot, but he's fouled. So the freshman for the Owls goes to the line for 2 shots. Team foul number 4 on Barber-Scotia. Barber-Scotia averaging 85.7 here at home, shooting 54% from the field and from behind the arc here at Al Cofield Court. That's compared to 71 a game on the road, 38% shooting. So big differences in the home cooking for the Sabres as Williams comes out. Coming in is Chris Calvin. Head coach Lavelle Gerald wanting explanation from the officials on something, so we're waiting for Kate's second free throw to come after he gets that explanation. Barber-Scotia will play 6 of their next 7 here at home, including tonight's game. They'll close the season on the road. Be nice for them to get some home court action in. As like I've said, they've played just 4 times all year here at home in 22 games. Cates gets the second free throw to go, 22 to 20. Calvin inbound, nice defense again by Cates, who comes up with the steal, and the Owls starting to go back to that press, which has given them so much success this season. That's a kickball. The Owls 10+ steals in 6 of the last 7, partly because they've gone to that trapping presser like we've seen on that last inbound for Barber-Scotia. They had just 10 steals or more 2 times in the first 17 games, and the Owls 6-2 when they have 10 or more steals. So Cates gets the first for him tonight. Patterson top of the key. Here's Cates, same spot. Cates will back it out now. Cates dribbles to the right, step back 3, yes! Steph Cates puts the Owls back up by 1, 23 to 22. Jackson looking to push over to Green, rises for 3, in and out. Garth Bailey collects the rebound. Bailey will bring it up. Bailey to the bucket, to the cutter, Timmy Johnson. But before that, an offensive foul. That is the 3rd time that the Owls have been called for the charge. That's team foul number 4. Both teams with 4 here in this first half. Javante Livingston checking back in for the Sabres as Atkins will sit down. Owls in that trap. Jackson into the forecourt. Bounce pass knocked away by Bailey. Good defense by Bailey, who almost gave the Owls a chance for a steal there. Williams checking back in for the Sabres. The Owls may be a little bit hesitant to go to the trap because the Sabres like to push the ball, but looks like they may have some success with it. Calvin, nice post moves to put it up and in as the Sabres get the lead back 24-23. Under 6.5 to go here in this first half. Timmy Johnson, Cates had Livingston all around him. Cates drives on Livingston, puts it up, no. Thought he was going to draw contact. Calvin, yet another rebound. Here's Wilson right of the lane. Dishes it out to Green. Open three off the front of the rim. Goes out of bounds. And last touch, they say, by Williams. There come the Owls now. Timmy Johnson into the forecourt. Cates top of the key. Cates left of the lane. Bailey on the wing. Bailey, Timmy Johnson back out to Garth. Rises for three. No good. Rebound controlled by Williams. Wilson into the forecourt. Bounce passes it out to Green, and he'll get it back to Wilson, who will set up the offense. Over to Williams on the right side. Swung left wing to Green. Back to Wilson. Williams rises from downtown off the back of the rim. No good. Bailey tipped the rebound. Wilson comes up with it. Wilson double dribbled with the basketball. Turnover gives the ball back to Warren Wilson. Coming back in is Ryan Atkins, but before that, a timeout. Timeout on the court. We'll step aside. 5:33 left to go in the first half. Back and forth we go in a close one. You're watching Warren Wilson basketball on the Owl Sports Network. Once again, the upcoming broadcast schedule on Saturday, the women in Nashville to take on Welsh College. We'll have that one for you at 2 p.m. Then on Monday, the men rematch with Piedmont International. That should be a good one as well at 7. Then on Wednesday, the doubleheader with Johnson and Wales on Breast Cancer Awareness Night. And that's Wednesday at 5:30 and 7:30. Out of the timeout, Warren Wilson with the basketball. Trailing by 1, the Barber-Scotia. Here's Timmy Johnson for 3 and swishes it in. Owls back up by 2, 26-24. Wilson bounce pass Atkins into the forecourt. Atkins to the cutter underneath Livingston. Turnaround shot on the baseline. Got it to go. Boy, it looked like he was out of whack, but able to gather himself to hit the shot. Nice job by Livingston, who ties it up at 26. Cates top of the key. Cates left of the lane. Cates over to Timmy Johnson. Timmy up top. Now over to Steph Cates on the right. Thought about the step back instead to Timmy Johnson. Timmy, floater in the lane. Oh, that went halfway down and came back out. Wilson gets the rebound. He'll bring it up. Over to Williams on the left. Wilson for 3. It's nothing but net. Shaquille Wilson, 34% from behind the arc. Gets his second, I believe, here tonight. Timmy Johnson to Ty Johnson. Now Bailey up top. Bailey dribbles in. Bounce pass. Patterson lays it up and in. Again, the trap for the Owls. No trouble that time for Atkins, but he threw it away. Too strong for Williams. Horton Jr. and Justin Gagne coming back into the ball game for the Owls. Gagne with 9 points in the opening minutes. Playing hurt here tonight. Gagne gets the inbound to Horton Jr. Justin's got some family who made the trip. Here's Bailey on the left side. Up top, Horton Jr. Over to Ty. 4-3. Yes! First three-pointer of the night for Ty Johnson. And the Owls go back up by 2. So back and forth we go. Much like the game on Monday, this one's shaping up to be a good one. Atkins dribbles in. Nice pass underneath as Williams draws the foul. So Williams will go to the line. That's team foul number 5 on Warren Wilson. Williams in limited action. This is just his 5th game. It's just 1 out of 8 from the charity stripe. So that might have been a wise foul for the Owls. We'll see how it plays out here. Cates getting ready to come back in as Williams misses off the front of the rim. So Cates comes in for Bailey. Steph Cates, E.J. Patterson, Ty Johnson, Justin Gagne, and Stephen Horton Jr. That's the 5 on the floor for the Owls. Second free throw, no good. Gagne with the rebound for Barber-Scotia. It's Atkins in the backcourt with Jackson and Wilson up front. It's Calvin and Williams. Here's Cates up top. Ty Johnson, step back three. Short on that one. Atkins skies for the rebound. Atkins looking to push now. Owls doing a nice job getting back on defense. Williams dribbles left of the lane. Can't get the roll. Patterson with the rebound. Horton Jr. into the forecourt. Ty Johnson on the right. E.J. Patterson up top. Here's Gagne. Rises for three. Yes, again. Gagne with 12, and the Owls lead back out to 5. Ooh, Patterson going for the steal. Made contact with Jackson, and that will be a foul on E.J. Danilo Radonjic will come into the ball game now for Warren Wilson. Radonjic, the junior from Montenegro. So Patterson sits down. That's team foul number 5 on the Owls with under 3 to go here in the first half. We'll see if we can't track down some stats at halftime, but for the most part, we'll take the full 15-minute break. So come on back in about 14 minutes. Jackson dribbles in, dishes it out. Wilson swishes another 3. It hasn't been offense that has been a problem for Barber-Scotia this year. It's been defense. So Barber-Scotia can put it in the bottom of the net. Ty Johnson, nice pass underneath. Radonjic got hit, and he will go to the line. Beautiful dish by Johnson. And Barber-Scotia will make Danilo earn it at the line. Danilo just 4 out of 11 from the charity stripe this season. That's team foul number 6, by the way, on Barber-Scotia. So next defensive set foul, the Owls will be in the 1-and-1. Radonjic not close on that one. Danilo. Swishes it in. So it's 35-32 now. Atkins, Wilson into the forecourt. Wilson drives strong to the bucket, count it, and the foul. So Wilson will go to the line with a chance to tie the ball game up. Wilson, another strong offensive performance for him. Wilson, 16.2 points per ball game. He's also good dishing the ball. He's got 73 assists. That's 19th in the USCAA. Can't complete the three-point play there. He's also good on the defensive end. He's 12th in the USCAA with 42 steals. Gagne up top. Gagne into the lane. Rises up, missed it short. Wilson with the rebound. Wilson going 100 miles an hour. Nice dish to Jackson, but that pass and shot was rejected by Gagne. Ty Johnson back out to Gagne. Cross court, Horton Jr. Cates up top. Fakes the 3, dribbles in, draws contact. Can't get the bucket, but Cates will go to the line to shoot 2. That also puts Barber-Scotia over the limit. So the Owls in the bonus now over the final 151. Cates 2 for 2. Moments ago in the first half. Cates swishes the first one in. Cates came in shooting 67%, had 12 points against Barber-Scotia in the last meeting. He also had 2 rebounds and 2 steals. He's got a steal here tonight as well, as Williams comes in for Barber-Scotia. Second free throw, nothing but net. 37-34. Owls lead is 3. Trapping pressure again. Cates had a hand on it, but knocked it out of bounds, I should say. And now the Owls will back off the press and let the Sabres bring it up unimpeded. Atkins will bring it up as Wilson getting a breather. Atkins into the forecourt. Owls again, 2-3 zone. Pass right wing to Green. Atkins left side to Williams. Atkins up top now. Still 17 to shoot. Back over Williams, fakes the three, drives in, scoops it up short. Ty Johnson with the rebound. Radonjic will get it over to Cates. Cates bounce pass to Horton Jr., who brings it across midcourt. Horton Jr. scoops it to Gagne on the right wing. Gagne dribbles in, out to Cates. Baseline three is short. Rebound controlled by Williams. Jackson into the forecourt, quickly to Green on the baseline. Skies it for Atkins on the right. Back over to Green in the corner. Drives baseline, and an offensive foul as Ty Johnson took the charge. Looks like Quasim Scott will check back into the game now for Barber-Scotia. And Williams will sit down. So under a minute to go here in this first half. Owls leading by 3. See if Warren Wilson can get a couple of buckets here and push the lead out. Owls have led by as many as 7. That came early when it was 11-4. Ty Johnson had to save that one. Got it to Radonjic. Doubled up, out to Cates. Left wing three. Short, tip for the rebound. And Cates able to save it. Boy, he knocked it off the head of Scott. But they say he stepped out of bounds first. So Barber-Scotia gets the basketball back with a chance to cut it to 1 or tie with a 3-point field goal. Owls leading it 37-34. About a 6-second difference between game and shot clock as we get late inside this first half. Scott over on the right wing. Atkins now over to Green on the left. Patient offense here as Barber-Scotia trying to run some of the clock down now. Atkins strong to the bucket and gets it to go. So the Owls trying to go quickly here with 6 seconds. Cates gets the inbound. Cates drives to the bucket, scoops it up and in, and that is how the first half will come to an end. Warren Wilson takes a 39-36 lead into the locker room. So Barber-Scotia shot 65% against the Owls in the first half of the first meeting. Owls playing a little bit better defense here and hold a 3-point lead. So folks, we'll step aside for about 14 minutes. We'll come back and see what first half stats we can track down. But until then, you're watching Warren Wilson basketball on the Owl Sports Network, and we'll be back. Welcome back, everybody. Just about set for the start of the second half. Warren Wilson leading it 39-36. Chris Sheeman, glad to be back with you. We are at Al Coalfield Court here at Barber-Scotia College in Concord, North Carolina. Happy to be back. They like the old school jams here. We heard some old school tunes at halftime. I like that. I feel energized. I feel ready to go. The problem is I bought a whole bunch of M&Ms at halftime, so there's a good chance that some of those may make it into my mouth here in the second half. And, well, let's just say the play-by-play could be a little garbled up a little bit. So it will be Barber-Scotia basketball to start things off here in this second half. No changes in the starting lineups for the Owls or for Barber-Scotia as we're set to go and underway here in this final 20 minutes of play. The Owls leading it by 3. As I mentioned, Justin Gagne leading scorer for the Owls with 12 points. Air ball, here comes Warren Wilson now. It's Gagne top of the key, and Gagne is bumped by Atkins. So the starters for the Sabres here in the final 20, Shaquille Wilson, Chris Calvin, Walter Jackson, Rashad Green, and Ryan Atkins. No change for them either. For the Owls, Horton Jr., Ty Johnson, Justin Gagne, E.J. Patterson, and Thomas Hay. Horton Jr. at the top of the key, guarded by Wilson in the man-to-man. Bounce pass goes to Patterson at the half circle. Over to Horton Jr. on the right side. Horton Jr. goes around the defender. Nice fake by Steven as he waited for 2 defenders to commit and put it up and in. Owls again trapping pressure. No trouble for the Sabres, though, as Jackson strong to the bucket, dishes it out. Here's Green on the baseline. His pass is deflected, and last touch by Thomas Hay. Williams is going to be an early sub for the Sabres here as looks like Wilson went to the bench. So Williams inbound left of the basket with 26 on the shot clock. Sabres set up the offense against the 2-3 zone. Atkins dribbles left of the lane, and Williams let it go, thinking an Owls player touch it, but that did not happen. So a turnover gives the ball back to Warren Wilson. Horton Jr. into the forecourt. Justin Gagne. Green on him. Gagne can't get it to bounce in, but he's fouled. So Justin Gagne will go back to the line. He is 3 for 3, I believe, tonight. Gagne, 76% free throw shooter on the season. Talked about it on Monday in the win against Welsh College. Gagne also in the top 20 in assists, like Wilson, a scorer, but also can dish it out. In fact, they're right behind one another. Gagne is 18th in assists. As what do we have here? A lane violation is going to give Gagne another crack at it. So Justin Gagne has 75 assists. That's 18th in the USCAA. Shaquille Wilson has 73 assists. That's 19th in the USCAA. Gagne, second effort makes him pay. And this matches the Owls' biggest lead of the night at 7. The last time they had a 7-point lead was 11-4. Kickball means we'll do the inbound again. The Owls keeping that trapping pressure on. So it'll be Williams to inbound it. Jackson, bounce pass back to Williams, and Sabres able to break the press. Here's Atkins into the lane. Shot is blocked by Patterson. And they call him for a foul. So a tough call on EJ, who's trying to plead his case. But it'll send Atkins back to the line. Ryan Atkins, 76% free throw shooter. As I mentioned, this is just his 6th game of the year, a late addition. Averaging 22.8, shooting 46%, 41% from behind the arc. 6.8 rebounds. So not a bad start to his collegiate career, the freshman. As Patterson sits down and Danilo Radonjic comes in for Warren Wilson. Second free throw good. The Owls lead down to 5 now at 43-38. Justin Gagne to inbound to Horton Jr., guarded by Atkins. A little light man pressure. And now Atkins backs off as Horton Jr. gets it into the forecourt. Horton Jr. to Ty Johnson. Gagne on the right wing. Gagne right in the lane. Turnaround shot, no good. Rebound controlled by Williams, and here come the Sabres. Atkins left of the lane. Atkins scoops it short, and the rebound controlled by Gagne. Gagne will push now for Warren Wilson. Gagne into the lane, bounce past the Hay, had it deflected, and they say Jackson touched it last, I believe. It'll be Ty Johnson inbound. Gagne on the right wing. Gagne guarded by Jackson. Bounce past the Hay. Hay, left post, doubled up, and he traveled with the basketball. That might be a little bit of a makeup call, as it looked like Hay touched it when it went out of bounds. So I didn't see a whole lot of movement by Hay there. Nevertheless, Sabres get it back. Atkins skies it on the near side, Williams. Here's Jackson dribbling in, dishes it out. Scott to the baseline. Back out Jackson, tip pass Atkins to the bucket. Count it, and the foul. So after the Owls go up by 7, William Montz did not like that call. That was a charge in the first half. So both teams with 2 team fouls. Atkins goes to the line trying to complete the old school three-point play and cut it to a 2-point deficit. .47 left to go in the ball game. Atkins makes it a 2-point ball game as Stephon Cates will come in for Warren Wilson, replacing Radonjic. Ty Johnson inbound it, gets it to Horton Jr. Again, a little man pressure for the Sabres. Horton Jr. able to handle it. Nice move by Steven, dumps it off. Hay got hit by Williams, and he will go to the line. Jackson has to go in the backcourt and gather himself a little bit after that move by Horton Jr. Team foul number 3 on Barber-Scotia, so we've seen a lot of fouls here in the second half. Pretty clean first half. Thomas Hay at the line for 2 shots. Thomas Hay, 63% free throw shooter. First one in and out. Wilson checking back in for the Sabres as Green sits down. So Hay will try to salvage the trip and push the Owls lead now out to 3. And he does. 44-41, 17:37 to go. Atkins bounce pass Wilson's. Back over to Atkins. Atkins lost the dribble, fell down, and Gagne picks it up. Owls have a 3-on-2. Ty Johnson for 3, no. Horton Jr. with the rebound, but they say he pushed off. So that's 3 now on Warren Wilson. And the Sabres get the basketball back. Barber-Scotia, since that win against Warren Wilson back in December, 1-8. The Owls have won 6 out of 7, but these teams battling again in another close one. The Owls won last year 69-52 at home on November 4th, and this year they lost 89-80 on December 5th. Williams open, instead goes to Jackson, drives on the corner. Over to Atkins. Atkins, cross-court. Williams drives in, dumps it under Calvin. Calvin, couple of fakes, and puts it up and in. Strong post moves and good footwork by Calvin to get the bucket. Again, it's a 1-point game. Horton Jr. Bounce pass to the cutter. Cates leaves it for Hay. And Hay traveled with the basketball. A bad offensive sequence there for the Owls as Barber-Scotia gets it back. Second last home or road game of the season for the Owls. The Owls will finish on the road against Berea on the 21st. Jackson into the lane. Gets it out to Williams. Offensive foul before that, though, as Hay took the charge. So the Owls will have 3 at home after tonight. Piedmont on Monday, Johnson and Wales on Wednesday, and College of Faith on the 14th. That'll be senior night. We might as well just change it to Ty Johnson night. He's the only one. Horton Jr. threw it away. Bad pass as Williams comes up with the steal. Williams bounced past the Wilson. Right wing Calvin. Calvin out near midcourt. Swings it left wing. Williams eyes the 3 off the back of the rim. No. Hay with the rebound. So we're about 4 minutes into the second half. Owls clinging to a 1-point lead here with the basketball. Gagne 12 in the first half. Horton Jr. drives in, dumps it off. Hay puts it up and in. So Horton Jr. able to draw the eye of the defender and makes the quick pass to Hay, who puts it in for 2. Jackson dribbles in. Now Williams on the left, drives to the bucket, shoots no, but he's fouled. James Williams in limited action so far is just 1 out of 10 from the charity stripe. Williams came in 1 out of 8 and was 0 for 2 in the first half. Williams, free throw in and out. Coming back in is Quasim Scott. So he joins Atkins and Williams in the front court. In the back court, it's Wilson and Jackson. For Warren Wilson, Timmy Johnson comes in, so it's Timmy and Ty in the back court with Gagne up front, Cates and Hay. So Williams, second one. Boy, when you're struggling from the free throw stripe, that's what happens. It went halfway down and back out. Timmy Johnson into the forecourt. Cates driving on the baseline. Leaves it for Hay. Hay able to gather, and that pass is last touch, they say, by Cates. So Barber-Scotia will get the basketball back. Williams inbounds to Atkins. Atkins into the forecourt. Atkins dribbles in, dishes it out. Here's Jackson airballing a 3. The ball deflected to Williams, put it up, no. Hay got the rebound, and Hay, what do we have? I believe it's going to be a foul on Williams. So Williams picks up the foul. That's team foul number 5. Owls have 4 with 15:23 left to go. And Williams will hit the bench as Atkins checks back in. Timmy Johnson running the point now for Warren Wilson. Brings it into the forecourt for the Owls. Timmy Johnson to the left block. Throws it for Gagne. Catches it with Scott all over him. And we have another foul called on Barber-Scotia. That's team foul number 5 on them. Here's Cates on the left wing. Cates dribbles to the top. Now left of the lane, into the lane, scoops it up. No. Rebound controlled by Calvin. And now Cates fouled him. That is team foul number 6 on the Owls. So the Owls are going to send Barber-Scotia to the bonus on the next foul. With under 15 to go, this could be a long second half. Wilson into the forecourt. Owls have been in the 2-3 zone for most of the ball game. Green on the left. Wilson between the circles. Wilson's dribbles to the right. Looking underneath, Atkins had it poked away, stays with it, put it up, count it, and the foul. So Atkins will go to the line to try to complete the old school three-point play and tie it up at 46. That's also, well, they still have 6 on the board. I think they might have given the Owls 1 more than they had. Three-point play incomplete. Tip for the rebound. Green comes up with it, and another possession for the Sabres. Atkins on the wing. Here's Wilson now. He'll set up a play for the Sabres. Wilson bounce pass to the right for Green. Green, Scott in the same spot. Now Wilson. 10 to shoot now for Barber-Scotia. Wilson looking for a screen. Gets it, shoots the three off the back of the rim. No good. Thomas Hay with the rebound. And we're going to get a foul now on the Sabres. So a push. And that's 17 fouls. So that's 17 fouls for Barber-Scotia, and Thomas Hay will go to the line. So both teams in the bonus now. A couple of subs in. Horton Jr. and Garth Bailey checking back in for the Owls. They join Ty Johnson, Justin Gagne, and Thomas Hay out on the court. Hay, first free throw up and in. Owls leading by 2 now. Owls led by as many as 7 twice if you're just joining us. Early on in the first half and early on here in the second half. Hay, second free throw, nothing but net. So the lead back to 3 for the Owls, 48-45. 14:04 left to go. Wilson into the front court. Not a lot of movement for Barber-Scotia against the zone. Now they get into the offense. Here's Atkins, floater on the baseline, no good. Gagne collects the rebound. Gagne throws to Ty Johnson in the forecourt. Ty Johnson doubled up and calls for time. Timeout on the court. We'll take it with them. 13:36 left to go in the ball game. Owls hanging on to a 3-point lead. We'll be back. Welcome back, everybody. Warren Wilson leading by 3 with the basketball. Chris Shima, glad to be back with you here at Barber-Scotia, Concord, North Carolina. It's about 20 or 30 miles north and east of downtown Charlotte. Here's Gagne on the left. Horton Jr., same spot. Thomas Hay, top of the key. Gagne, Ty Johnson. Johnson traveled with the basketball, I believe, but they called a foul. So Ty Johnson will go to the line. They say he was in the act of shooting, so he'll get 2 no matter what. Ty Johnson, 75% free throw shooter on the season. The Owls coming in at 14-10, Barber-Scotia 4-18. You might be wondering, why are the Owls 14-10 when last we heard on Monday they were 13-11. Well, the reason why they're 14-10 now is Penn State Fayette had to forfeit one of their games, or most of their games, and the Owls picked up a win because of that. So Penn State Fayette blew Warren Wilson out in the Johnson & Wales Classic in Charlotte to begin the season, but they had to forfeit a bunch of their USC AA games, so the Owls pick up the win. That's why they're at 14-10 right now. Wilson. Atkins on the left. Atkins drives to the bucket, and he is fouled. They're going to say he was in the act, I believe, so it'll be 2 shots no matter what here. Both teams are over the limit. No, they're saying 1-1, so they called it on the floor. Atkins will shoot the 1-1 here then. That's team foul number 7 on the Owls. Barber-Scotia with 8. Front end of the 1-1 is good, so Atkins will get another one. Atkins toes the line and gets 2 out of 2. So the lead down to 3 again for the Owls as Stephon Cates comes back in for Garth Bailey. So it's Cates up front with Hay, Horton Jr., Ty Johnson, and Justin Gagne. For Barber-Scotia, Jackson and Wilson in the backcourt with Atkins. Up front, it's Green and Calvin. Now a turnover. It's a steal by Green. Green drives to the bucket. No, but he is fouled. So it'll be Green who will go to the line. Rashad Green, 74% free throw shooter. Both teams now with 8. What is taking so long? Give the man the ball. So it's 2 shots. It took him that long to figure it out. I could have told him that as he misses the first one. So Green trying to salvage the trip, and he does. They say count it. What do we have? A lane violation. So they're going to count the free throw, and Barber-Scotia is going to get the basketball back. Garth Bailey's going to check in for Warren Wilson as Ty Johnson will. Ty Johnson's not going to sit down. What is going on here? Thomas Hayes going to sit down. All right, so we got the sub figure out. Now the officials are going to talk about it. I have never seen a team get a ball back on a lane violation. I've seen them get an extra free throw. Folks, I really don't think that these 3 men know what the hell they're doing. I really don't. We saw something that benefited the Owls in the first half that made no sense to me, and now we're seeing something that benefits Barber-Scotia here in the second. But at the same time, Coach Montz isn't raising too much of a fuss over there, so I got to think if he's okay with it, must be some rule that I don't know about. Atkins over to Wilson for 3. Missed it a little bit long. The rebound controlled by Horton Jr. Stephen Horton Jr. to the bucket. Out to Ty Johnson. Corner 3. In and out. Put back by Horton Jr. is good. So after all that, Warren Wilson lead back out to 4. Jackson on the right wing. Jackson into the lane. Floats it up. No good. Cates pulls down the rebound. See if the Owls can start to take control of this ball game now. It's been a disjointed. It's been ugly. Here's Cates on the right wing. Cates to the bucket. Cates, the reverse is good. Steph Cates pushes the Owls lead out to 6. Atkins into the forecourt. Barber-Scotia, a lot of firepower on this end of the court, though. As the Owls well know. Patient offense this time for the Sabres up against the 2-3 zone. Here's Atkins on the right side. Wilson between the circles, 13 to shoot. Here's Green from way downtown, a rainbow that swishes in. What did I tell you? Horton Jr. brings it into the forecourt. Ty Johnson on the left wing. He'll back it out. Now drive on the baseline. Over to Cates in the corner. Here's Horton Jr. Open 3. Drives in, had it poked away. Gagne stays with it. Bounce pass out to Cates, open three, can't get it to go. Atkins skies for the rebound. Here come the Sabres again. Every time it looks like the Owls are going to make a little push, Barber-Scotia answers right back. Green dribbles to the left for three, it's good. And we are tied again at 54. Boy, it'll be interesting to see how many ties and lead changes there have been in this ball game. Horton Jr. can't get it to go. Full court pass intercepted by Gagne, who rises for three, but before the shot, I believe we have a timeout. So we'll step aside. 10:27 left to go here in Concord, all even at 54. You're watching Warren Wilson on the Owl Sports Network. Check the upcoming broadcast schedule, folks. On Saturday, the women take on Welsh College in Nashville. That will be a 2 p.m. game. Then on Monday, it's the men against Piedmont back at home at 7. And on Wednesday, it's that doubleheader against Johnson and Wells. That's also, if you're thinking about going to the game, it's Pick Out DeVries Breast Cancer Awareness Night on the 11th against Johnson and Wells. So you could see a couple of things going on at halftime as well. Krishima, glad to be back with you here in Concord. 10:27 left to go in the ball game. We are tied at 54. Warren Wilson will have the basketball. There's not been a lot of rhythm to this game, but it has been competitive. It's been a good back and forth game, just a bit disjointed and ugly at times. Not really the players' fault on that end of it, though. Gagne had it stripped, but they say Atkins got a piece of him. And that is team foul number 9, so Gagne will go to the line to shoot the 1-and-1. It will be Garth Bailey to check back into the game. E.J. Patterson's going to come out. So Patterson's timeout on the court is short. Gagne fronted at 1-and-1 is good, so he'll get another one. Owls ending that 6-0 run by Barber-Scotia after the Owls went up by 6. The Sabres answered right back. Now the Owls looking to push it out again as they lead by 2 as Gagne gets both free throws. Wilson having trouble finding somebody, and that is a 5-second call. Or did they get a timeout? They got a timeout as Lavelle Gerald called it. So Lavelle Gerald called it, and it was signaled by the backcourt official. So a timeout. We'll keep it right here and remind you folks that you can visit the home of the Owls on the line, WarrenWilsonOwls.com. Get up-to-date news and player profiles, stat schedules, all of that good stuff. Don't forget to friend us on Facebook. Just search Warren Wilson Owls, or you can also type that URL in and add us that way. And also find us on Twitter. We'd love to hear from you during today's broadcast. We heard from Anthony and the folks who are watching back at Warren Wilson. You can tweet at us at WWC Athletics. 10:15 left to go here in the ball game. Owls holding a 2-point lead. Green looking to inbound, gets it to Wilson. Wilson skies it for Green in the front court. And Barber-Scotia will set up the offense. Here's Jackson on the right wing. Over to Wilson between the circles. Wilson dribbles to the right. Wilson had his pocket picked by Horton Jr., but he couldn't get a handle on it as it's knocked out of bounds. So Barber-Scotia will get it back. They did not reset the shot clock, so it's at 17. Jackson top of the key, into the lane, threw it away. Cates comes up with it. Throws it to Gagne in the forecourt. Gagne puts it up and in. Looking to go quickly is Wilson. Wilson on the near side had it poked away. Back-to-back steals. Gagne again throws it for Ty Johnson out to Cates. Left side, Horton Jr. Over to Gagne. Gagne thought about it, shoots it short, and Wilson collects the rebound. It looked like Ty Johnson might have poked him in the face, and that will be 10 team fouls. So both teams in the double bonus from here on out. 9:28 left to go as Ty Johnson is called for the foul. Shaquille Wilson, 66% free throw shooter. Wilson, as I mentioned, in the first half, 28 points in the first meeting against Warren Wilson, averaging just over 16 per ball game on the season as he gets the first one to go. Chris Calvin checking back into the game as Jackson will sit down for the Sabres. Wilson toes the line, gets the second one to go, back to a 2-point ball game. So Warren Wilson coming in just 5-6 on the road, looking to even their road record at 500, win their 15th of the season in a dogfight here against the Sabres. Ty Johnson, top of the key, dribbles to the right, raises, missed it side rim. Cates had a finger on it, but Wilson comes down with the board. Wilson swings it left wing to Atkins. Wilson up top. And Wilson will back it out and direct traffic here for the Sabres. 16 to shoot, still plenty of time for the Sabres. Wilson doubled up. It's to Scott. Scott turnaround shot, no good. Tip for the rebound. Ty Johnson comes up with it to Gagne. Gagne scoops it up. No. Put back by Horton Jr. No. And we have a foul called on Scott, who hit the floor hard. Both teams have 10 team fouls, so both teams are shooting 2 free throws no matter what happens on a defensive foul. So Gagne still having trouble with that back. We'll go back to the line. He still played pretty well. Gagne toes the line, gets the first one to go. Thomas Hay back in. Garth Bailey out there. Ty Johnson. Horton Jr. and Gagne who's at the line. And the second one in and out. Calvin collects the rebound. So Chris Calvin out there for Barber-Scotia with Wilson, Atkins, Scott, and Green. That's the 5 on the floor for Barber-Scotia. Green on the near side of your screen. Wilson out near midcourt. Swings it to Atkins on the left. Right back to Wilson between the circles. Wilson, Green on the near side. Green dribbles between the circles. 9 to shoot. 8 to shoot. Wilson on the right side with 5. Drives in, lost it. Atkins comes up with it. Turnaround shot, an air ball, and that is a shot clock violation. So, shot clock violation. Gives the ball back to Warren Wilson. The Owls looking to pick up this road win, get back home for 3 games. Should be interesting rematch with Piedmont International on Monday. Here's Gagne from NBA range, no good. The rebound tipped, and Ty Johnson touched it last. So Barber-Scotia will get the basketball back, trailing by 3 as Jackson will come in for Scott. Green inbound it. And Green having trouble finding somebody, so he will call timeout. Timeout on the court. We'll take it with them. 7:42 left to go in the ball game. We'll be back after this. Welcome back, everybody. A little trouble with the scoreboard, so if you can give me a minute here, I will adjust that, and we'll come back with live play-by-play. So the first free throw up and in for Jackson. As he gets the second one, it's gone from a basketball game to a free throw shooting contest, as the second half has been called very tightly. 7:27 left to go in the ball game. Horton Jr. able to break the press. Gets it to Ty Johnson. Johnson to the bucket, and he is fouled. So Ty Johnson will go and shoot 2 free throws. Ty Johnson, 75% free throw shooter. First one in and out. Both teams are in the double bonus, so they will shoot 2 no matter what. Johnson, second one up and in. 2-point ball game, 60-58. The trap is on. Patterson with the steal. Gagne to the bucket. Gagne scoops it up off the glass and in. Big turnover there. This time, Sabres able to break the press. Jackson drives in, looking underneath Calvin. Had to save it on the baseline. Calvin, double fake. Short on the shot. Patterson with the rebound. No team has had a really big run in this ball game. We've seen a couple of 6-0 runs. Horton Jr. traveled with the basketball, so that's going to give the ball back to Barber-Scotia. The biggest run was by the Sabres early on. They had a, I believe, a 16-4 run or a 20-6 run. It was something like that. That's the only run in this ball game. And part of the way it's been officiated, you can't really make a run when everything's called a foul. So expect it to be close for the remainder. Atkins on the left side. Owls' defensive pressure, though, is starting to pick up the pace a little bit. Barber-Scotia's been able to answer. Still, there's another foul. If you breathe on a player in this game, that player will be shooting free throws. And right now, it's Atkins who will shoot 2. The good thing is it's being called even on both sides. So Atkins short on the first free throw. It's just not a compliment to the game of the basketball when you have games like this. At the other argument is the players have to recognize what's going on and adjust. Here's Gagne. Gagne into the lane. Gagne puts it up too strong off the glass. Tip for the rebound. Atkins able to corral for Barber-Scotia. Atkins into the front court. Guarded by Ty Johnson. Owls in a rare man-to-man here. Jackson. Wilson had his pass volleyballed out of bounds by Gagne. So 23 to shoot for the Sabres. Wilson will inbound left side of the basket. Wilson skies it for Atkins out near midcourt. Owls back in the 2-3 zone now. Over to Jackson on the right. Atkins, Green on the far side of your screen. Wilson, pass deflected, so Atkins can go and get it in the backcourt. 5 to shoot. Atkins rises for 3 can't get it to go, and Gagne collects the rebound. Owls in no particular hurry to push it up the court on this possession, as Horton Jr. brings it across the timeline and over to Bailey on the left. Horton Jr. up top. Sabres in a man-to-man. Green on Horton Jr. on a switch. Here's Gagne. Gagne being guarded by Jackson. Horton Jr. on the baseline, had it poked away. And with 10 to shoot, the Owls will inbound it. Owls looking to win their 15th of the season, looking for their 7th win in 8 games. Barber-Scotia looking to sweep the home and home here this season. It's Gagne. Step back three. Gagne grazes the rim, nothing more. Atkins collects the rebound. Atkins will bring it up. Now Wilson. Back over to Atkins. Now here's Calvin. Calvin drives in the lane and draws the foul. So Calvin will go to the line to shoot 2 free throws. Chris Calvin, 67% free throw shooter on the season, averaging 14.2 points per ball game. Had a double-double against the Owls earlier with 25 and 11, and he's got to be close, not points-wise, but he's got to have close to 10 rebounds here in this one. Gagne is going to come out. Stephon Cates will come in. One out of 2 at the line, and it's 62 to 60. A timeout on the court. So we will step aside. Hi to Katie Grace, who's watching on Twitter, said the men's basketball game may be the strangest I've ever witnessed. I'm going to join you in agreeing with you there, Katie. It's about it's something. That's for sure. It's something. 4:52 left to go. We'll be back with the Owls trying to pull off the victory. Welcome back. Owls leading by 2 here at Barber-Scotia. Warren Wilson with the basketball. Barber-Scotia going to a trap press of their own here late in this ball game. Garth Bailey able to beat the 10-second clock. Bailey guarded by Wilson. Set out to Horton Jr. on the right side. Horton Jr. will back it out. Bounce pass to Ty Johnson. Johnson with 10 to shoot. Goes left of the lane. Pull-up jumper short. Tipped the rebound. Good job by Cates to bat it out as Horton Jr., thanks to Cates, gets an extra possession. Horton Jr. bounce pass to Ty Johnson. Johnson top of the key. Johnson dribbles to the left. Horton Jr. up top. Horton Jr. to the bucket, leaves it for Patterson, who lays it up and in. Nice play by Horton Jr. for the 2nd time in this ball game. Feels the defensive pressure and able to find the open man underneath. First time it was Hay, this time it's Patterson. Owls by 4 again. Here's Green for downtown, no good. Offensive rebound by Calvin. Calvin able to put it up and in. 64-62, 3:35 left to go. Horton Jr. into the forecourt. To the elbow. Bailey. Bailey up top. Steven over to Cates. Corner 3. Yes! Stephon Cates rims in his 2nd 3 of the night, and the Owls go up by 5. 3:11 left to go. Owls need some stops on this end of the floor, though, to try to close this ball game. Green on the right wing. Wilson. Green again, methodical for Barber-Scotia right now. Wilson, nice pass to the cutter. Jackson, who lays it up and in. Barber-Scotia lulling the Owls to sleep a little bit. And then Jackson turned up the Jets. Wilson able to find him. Here's Cates into the forecourt. Cates lost the dribble. Good defense by Atkins and Green. Wilson now as the Owls get back on defense. Calvin up top for three. It's short. And maybe not the shot that head coach Lavelle Gerald had in mind with still about 15 seconds on the shot clock. Bailey in the corner. Bailey to the bucket. To Patterson. Patterson put it up short. Rebound controlled by Wilson. Wilson across the timeline into the forecourt. Calvin in the lane, and we have a timeout by Barber-Scotia. Timeout on the court. We'll step aside again. 2:01 left to go in the ball game. Owls trying to hang on. You're watching Warren Wilson basketball on the Owls Sports Network. Crunch time here in Concord as the Owls trying to hang on. They've led for most of the second half, but the lead has never been as large, or larger I should say, than 7. And for the most part it's been right where it is right now, a 3-point ball game. This is a Barber-Scotia team that has given up 100 points or more in 11 games. Hanging tough with the Owls here, although turnaround shot missed by Calvin. Here comes Warren Wilson now. Possessions becoming a premium here as we go inside 2 minutes. Bailey swings it over. Horton Jr. to the bucket. To the cutter, Ty Johnson. Puts it up short. Got the offensive rebound. Out to Cates. Open three. Yes! Again. And Cates is feeling it here late in this ball game. 3-point ball game, or 6-point ball game, excuse me, on the three-pointer. Green on the near side. Here's Wilson out near midcourt. Swings it left side to Atkins. Atkins, couple of hop steps, too strong off the glass. Calvin, offensive rebound. Calvin to the bucket. Count it, and the foul. So Calvin will go to the line as he's fired up with a chance to answer Cates' three with an old school 3-point play. Thomas Hay will come out, and that might have been his 5th foul, I'm not sure, but E.J. Patterson comes in for him. Three-point play complete by Calvin, so it's back to a one-possession game now. 70-67, inside 1 minute to go here in this one. Horton Jr. to the bucket, and he is fouled. So Horton Jr. will go to the line for 2 shots. Horton Jr. on the season, just a 51% free throw shooter. Owls need every bucket they can get as Horton Jr. is short on the first one. So Steven can still make it a 2-possession game if he can get the second free throw. Justin Gagne getting set to check back in, and now what do we have? Coach Mont's changing his mind, so never mind. Horton Jr. short on them both. Here we go. The clock still hasn't started. There it goes. So we're going to get a couple extra seconds in this ball game. Atkins on the left wing. Wilson. Now here's Green from way outside. No. And look at Cates. Cates is all alone. He's going to pull it out. What a smart decision by Cates. That is a freshman with the head of a senior. Pull it out, run some clock. Cates will go to the line. He's been relatively effective from the free throw stripe this season, 67%, and I don't think he's missed here tonight. 33 seconds left to go. Cates rims in the first one. Boy, it's Steph Cates, big minutes here with that big three, and now possibly 2 big free throws. Barber-Scotia's got a lot of speed, though, so they can go quickly. Lavelle Gerald, the head coach, instructing his team what to do after this free throw. So both free throws in, 5-point ball game. Atkins on the far side of your screen. Atkins dribbles in, pass deflected out, and the Owls will take that all day. That allowed 7 seconds to come off the clock. Justin Gagne checking in for Horton Jr. now. So Coach Mont's bringing in Gagne, a better free throw shooter for Horton Jr. I think they might be adjusting the time on the clock as the official went over to the scorer's table to talk things over. So it stays at 25.9. Barber-Scotia will inbound, needing to go quick. If you can score in the next 5 seconds, you've got more time to try to go for a steal rather than just fouling immediately and hoping for free throws to be missed. So if Barber-Scotia can be efficient with these next few seconds. Here's Calvin. Calvin to the bucket. Missed it strong. Rebound fought for. Jackson is fouled, I guess. Boy, it looked like players were tied up there, as Justin Gagne is going to be called for the foul, and that is his 5th. I don't know how you don't call a jump ball there. Jackson will go to the line, though, 18.1 seconds. This is what Barber-Scotia wanted. First one up and in. Still a 2-possession game, though, if he misses this one. Timmy Johnson, by the way, came in for Gagne, who's done for the night. That free throw no good, and they're going to call another lane violation. This time, though, I think it's on Barber-Scotia. No? No, it's on the Owls. So another lane violation and a mental error by Warren Wilson will give Jackson another opportunity here. This is a big free throw. And he got that one to go. So back to a 1-possession game. Timmy Johnson now at its steal. It's a steal by Jackson. Atkins for 3, yes. And we are tied with 8 seconds left to go. Timmy Johnson doubled up, and we're going to get a timeout with 4.8 seconds. Are you kidding me? Full timeout. We will step aside. The Owls trying to win it at the buzzer here on the road. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. You can probably see the clock has been adjusted to 5.1. So the Owls will likely not get a great look at the basket here with 5.1. We'll see what Coach Montz decides to do. Again, both teams in the double bonus. Possession arrow, should there be a tie-up, favors Warren Wilson. So if there's a jump ball, the Owls will keep it here with 5.1. We'll see what the Owls draw up. It might behoove them to try to get the ball to at least half court in the next couple of seconds, call another timeout, and then try to set up a little better look at the basket. So we'll see what Warren Wilson does. The last thing that they need is another turnover, as the Owls allow Barber-Scotia and Atkins to get a three-pointer to tie this ball game up. Now the Three Stooges are talking. So it will be Ty Johnson to inbound it. Scott has come on to guard the inbounder. Remember, if we have overtime, no Justin Gagne and no Thomas A. They have both fouled out. Bailey throws it to Patterson. Patterson at center court. Patterson rises, and we will go to overtime. So 40 minutes not enough. The Owls have to muster some energy to try to win it in the next 5 minutes on the road. After regulation, we are tied at 72. Owls basketball is coming back right after this. Well, if you're just joining us, you've missed quite a bit. Barber-Scotia rallying in the final seconds to tie it up and send it into overtime. And the Owls will play OT against the team that they have no business losing to at all. The Owls looking to make that postseason trip to Pennsylvania right now, in good shape to do that, but at times this team has played to the level of its opponents, if not lower than that at other times. And Owls have to muster up some energy here. They're going to be without Thomas Hay, as the tip is won by Warren Wilson here in overtime. They're going to be without Thomas Hay and Gagne, who both fouled out, I believe. So Bailey and Cates get the start. Stephon Cates has played great here tonight. Bounce pass to Ty Johnson, banks it off the glass, and the first points in OT belong to Warren Wilson. Atkins into the forecourt. Jackson on the near side. Bounce passes it back to Atkins. Barber-Scotia navigating the zone as they've done effectively here tonight. Atkins dribbles in, gets it out to Green for three. It's short. Horton Jr. with the rebound. So just about a minute in here in overtime. Chris Sheeman back here in Concord. Glad you could be with us here tonight wherever you're watching from. Kate Strong to the bucket. No. Tip for the rebound. And coming up with it is Jackson, who looks like he traveled, but whatever. Here's Green on the far side of your screen. Now they'll get it out to Atkins, who will set up the offense for the Sabres. Atkins directing some traffic here. Over on the near side, it's Jackson. Atkins again. Atkins hit the big three to tie it up at 72. 6 to shoot for Barber-Scotia. Green's got to go. Strong to the bucket. Puts it up and in. We are tied at 74. It was an 89-80 victory for Barber-Scotia in December. The Owls trying to even the score here tonight. Bailey floats it up and gets the roll. Boy, Patterson, I almost touched the net there, I believe. But I think it was after the basket. On the near side, it's Atkins. Bounce passes to Green. Jackson, strong to the bucket, and he's fouled by Cates. So Jackson will go to the line for 2 shots. Remember, second half fouls count, so both teams still in a double bonus here in overtime. Jackson, 59% free throw shooter, gets the first one to go. So Jackson with the chance to tie it up on this next free throw. Coming back in is Williams, coming out is Green. Jackson misses the second, so the Owls keeping a 1-point lead here. Midway through this overtime period, Horton Jr. strong to the bucket. Oh, can't get the roll, but he's fouled. So Horton Jr., who struggled a bit from the free throw stripe this season, just 51%, missed a couple earlier in the ball game. Important free throws here for the Owls. Horton Jr. misses his third of the night. Green checking back in now. Coming out is Williams as Coach Gerald for the Sabres shuffling bodies in and out. So Horton Jr. will try to salvage the trip here, and he does. 1 out of 2. Lead is 2 again for Warren Wilson, 77 to 75. Jackson on the near side. Jackson into the lane. There was no defense from Warren Wilson there, absolutely none. Horton Jr. looked like Green was going to press a little bit, but backed off. Now here's Cates up top. Back out to Horton Jr. on the left. Horton Jr. can underneath for Patterson. Ball deflected. Horton Jr. gets it out. Cates for 3. Yes! Stephon Cates hitting several big shots here tonight. And the Owls go up 80 to 77. Timeout, Barber-Scotia will step aside again here with 2:08 left to go. Owls needing to play some defense now. 2:08 left to go. Barber-Scotia with the basketball trailing by 3. Atkins the inbound. Green. Atkins will walk it slowly into the front court for the Sabres. Barber-Scotia, their lone win in the last 9 games against College of Faith. Drive on the baseline, floater no good. Offensive rebound and putback is good. And it's a 1-point ball game again, 80 to 79. Horton Jr. into the forecourt. Over to Bailey. Bailey top of the key. Bailey at the free throw stripe. Can't get the jumper to go. Tip for the rebound. It's controlled by Atkins. 1:24 left to go. Sabres can take the lead with a jumper here. Over to Green on the far side. Cross court, it's Jackson. Jackson looking to make a move into the lane. Dishes it out. 3-ball by Atkins, no good. Patterson with a big rebound. Owls get the basketball back, leading by 1. Inside 1 minute to go. Ty Johnson will back it out and run some clock. Johnson's been relatively quiet here tonight by his standards as he wants to call a timeout. So a timeout is called. William Montz is asking for a foul. I think one of the officials called a foul and the other one signaled a timeout. So they're going to give the timeout. We'll keep it right here. 48.1 seconds left to go here in this first overtime period. Jump ball possession arrow favors Barber-Scotia. Again, both teams in the double bonus. The Owls 16 to shoot. So if they run the clock down, they'll give the ball back to Barber-Scotia on a make or a miss with about 32 seconds left to go. Of course, plenty of time. Owls need a big bucket here, though. Credit Barber-Scotia. Coming in just 4 wins. That ball deflected by Calvin out of bounds. So the Owls will inbound it again. Inbound goes to Horton Jr. Horton Jr. to the bucket for Patterson, and the defense was ready. Good defense by Atkins, who comes up with the steal, and a 4-second difference between game and shot clock. Barber-Scotia can win it or get the go-ahead shot at least and make it very difficult. Jackson, let's see how much time they run though. Green to the bucket, underneath, Jackson puts it up and in, and Barber-Scotia takes the lead. 15 seconds to go. So the ball's in Ty Johnson's hand. Expect him to take the final shot. We're going to get a timeout first though. Well, this would be just a devastating loss for Warren Wilson. Coming in with 14 wins in that 7 spot, but you lose twice to one of the worst teams in the USCAA, and that's going to hurt your postseason chances. Now, if the Owls do lose this game, if they're unable to come back and win it, not the end of the world necessarily. They're still well on their way to the national tournament, but the way that they're playing right now against Welsh on Monday, against Bob Jones on Friday, and now here tonight, I mean, realistically, what can this team do in the tournament? Right now, work to be done, though, for William Montz and the Warren Wilson Owls with 8.8 seconds left to go. Expect it to be either Cates or Johnson to get a shot here. Cates has had the hot hand here this evening. However, Ty Johnson is the senior leader. Johnson came in averaging 20.2 points per ball game, 11th best in the USCAA. Owls like to shoot the 3. That's where they make most of their living. They don't need a 3-point shot here, down just 1. So here we go, folks. Ty Johnson will inbound, and that should tell you or give you some indication that he will likely take the shot. Usually the inbounder will get the ball back. It'll be Jackson to guard the inbounder. We'll see if Barber-Scotia is going to call time after seeing what Warren Wilson has set up here. And it looks like they're going to play through it. So Ty Johnson inbound. Gets it to Patterson. Back to Ty. Ty to the baseline. Ty, turnaround shot. Yes! With 2.2 seconds, I believe that's what they're going to have on the clock. The senior leader for Warren Wilson puts the Owls ahead. Now they're going to look at the clock here. I want to say it's about 2.2. In overtime and towards the end of the game, the clock stops on a make. So the clock continued to run for about a second and a half or so. Still, Barber-Scotia has to go the length of the floor. They need some kind of miracle. You know, folks, it's been ugly at times. The officiating has not been very good. The Owls haven't played up to their potential. But this has been a heart pumper. Back and forth we go, and you see it on your screen now. 2.9 seconds left to go for Barber-Scotia. They're going to have to throw it at least half the length of the court to get a decent look at it. Again, remember, possession arrow favors the Sabres here if there is a tie-up. The Owls will likely play back. All the Owls have to do here is not foul. If Barber-Scotia hits a Hail Mary and beats you, you tip your cap. You do not want to foul here. So the Sabres will inbound it. Again, the Owls, well, they're playing up. It'll be Patterson, the guard, the inbounder. Hits it in. Here's Green. Green from midcourt, and it's no good. Warren Wilson escapes. The Owls avenge a 9-point loss to the Sabres earlier in the season in stunning fashion here tonight in Concord, defeating the Sabres 82-81. Warren Wilson wins its 15th game of the season. The Owls are 15-10 on the season. They improve to 6-6 on the road. Warren Wilson, a stunner here tonight. Ty Johnson, the game-winning shot for the senior. What else can you say, folks? I think this story tells itself, so we're going to sign off. Take a look at the upcoming broadcast schedule one more time. On Saturday, it's the women taking on Welsh College at 2 p.m. Then on Monday, we're back with the men. The men's next game is Monday against Piedmont at home. Start of 3 straight at home for the Owls at 7 p.m. Then on Wednesday, it's a doubleheader against Johnson & Wales at 5:30 for the ladies and 7:30 for the men. Warren Wilson 82, Barber-Scotia 81. We're coming back to the mountains, folks. Have a good night, and we'll talk to you again on Saturday.